All right, man. Look, I look. If the Lakers lose this series, maybe I should say when the Lakers lose this series. Simple question, and I think it's on the minds of everyone, and we'll certainly talk about it with Eric Pincus. Should they or should they not try to make Kyrie Irving a Laker?
Ooh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Wow.
And it's not that I don't like Kyrie Irving or that he's not a good player. However, what's it going to cost you? Might cost you Austin Reeves and Hachimura?
Well, no, that's too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm keeping Austin Reeves, and I want to keep Hachimura as well.
Exactly. So if it's going to cost you both of those, because the NBA has looked at how it's going to calculate its salary cap, and now teams that are in the luxury tax are no longer going to have the luxury, if you will, with to bring players back and sign in trades. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to have full access to their trade exceptions and all of that. So it's going to be tougher to build deep rosters. So a player like Kyrie that's going to command so much money, it is going to cut into your depth. And then as good of a scorer as he is, he's not good on defense. And you need defense to be able to a win. So I think that for the Lakers, they got enough scoring that they got to continue to bolster this roster without sacrificing key pieces like Reeves and Hachimura, because I want both of them back.
Look, I hear you. You're making sense. However, I also think if they had Kyrie Irving right now I know Kyrie has just wreaked havoc. There's a trail of destruction.
A trail of bodies.
He's gone, right, since he left Cleveland with LeBron. But since then, he has at least seemed to come to the realization that he made a mistake by leaving LeBron James.
Yes.
He's wanted to play with the Lakers and LeBron. And I got to be honest, I think he would be better with the Lakers and LeBron than he will be with Dallas and Luka. And so I think could be worth Dallas's while to look at a sign and trade with the Lakers. And Kyrie would probably also have to accept that he's not getting the max. Now, he can get a lot of money, but not quite the max. But he may get the years he wants with the Lakers if they did some sort of sign and trade. But you got to keep Austin Reeves. You got to keep Rui Hachimura. And then I would like to keep Jared Vanderbilt. But I don't know if I can.
He's more replaceable, honestly.
Well, he's a great defender, though. He can't shoot. Yes. But he's long, and to your point, like, I could bring Kyrie in if I have enough good defenders around him. I do think they could use his offense. LeBron's going to be a year older next year. We can't always count on him to give him 25 to 30 points a night. Anthony Davis, we know, is going to be up and down. What has been their problem in these games, George? They haven't been able to close.
Correct.
Kyrie is a closer supreme.
You are right. But would they be able to get defensive stops with Kyrie on the floor the same way that they can now?
Yes. Because if you have Anthony Davis back there, if you have Jared Vanderbilt, and again, maybe you can't keep him. Austin Reeves, a solid defender. I disagree with you about LeBron's defense in this series. I think LeBron, now he's not locked down necessarily for 40 minutes, but the block shots, the hustle, he's been hustling back more than a lot of his teammates at times on transition. So I think
there are times he will get hit with a back door. He will get hit with a back door more than he ever did. And there are some times where he's just standing around. And mind you, I don't want to sound too critical of LeBron because I'm a LeBron guy. However, we're watching an older version of him that
Absolutely.
can't do the same things that he used to be able to do. And so maybe that's it. That I've grown accustomed to seeing one version of LeBron play basketball. And now maybe I have to readjust my expectations. And if you put Kyrie on this team right now, would they be winning this series? Yes, because they would have somebody who is unguarded.
The problem?
The problem is that you can't put him on this team. This team is not going to look the same if you get Kyrie. But the good news about getting Kyrie is that you can actually get him this offseason, and it doesn't cost you draft picks. It doesn't cost you trading away players. So maybe you don't re-sign the same amount of players, because I was not a fan of them trying to trade for Kyrie prior to the trade deadline, because that would have crippled the entire team. Like, there's no way that they could have won. They would have been in the same position that Dallas was in, that Phoenix ended up in, where they were so thin.
No depth.
Yeah, so if you can find a way to get Kyrie and some other players, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, if he'd have to take a significant.
He'd have to take like 30
lower.
Yeah,
he'd
take like $30 million.
Yeah, and maybe less, maybe than that, depending on. I mean, look.
But how many people are really going to be willing to pay Kyrie the max, though?
Not many. I mean, the talk is that Dallas, and we'll ask Eric Pincus about this, that Dallas will give him a max deal for a few years. Honestly, my desire, if I were any team, Dallas or the Lakers, but in this case, Dallas, I would want to get – my heart would be like, look, 1 year deal with a team option for a second year. The problem with that is that, and Dallas understands this, they don't want to go overboard with like a full long-term max, but they also understand they do have to give him a contract that he feels good about and that he can actually save face with, that doesn't look like an insult. Because if you sign Kyrie Irving to a contract that he doesn't like, oh my goodness, who knows what type of, destruction he might wrought. Wreak. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many weeks would he take off, or would a back injury that might not exist rear its ugly head? Or it would be they got a real issue there. But Kyrie and Luka just didn't seem like a good fit. I mean, I'm not saying making any revelations there. I mean, they didn't even make the playoffs.
Yes.
Right? And so it is look, I get it. I definitely am bringing back Austin Reeves, and I want Rui Hachimura. And by the way, George, they're starting tonight. Now, I've been thinking that Darvin Ham should have been gone to the lineup of LeBron, Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, and Dennis Schroeder. Get D'Angelo Russell. I don't want back if I'm a Laker.
No.
If he had played well in these playoffs, Kyrie wouldn't even be a thought.
Yes,
but he's been up and down,
wildly
inconsistent. And that's what he's done. He's either been bad, mediocre, or inconsistent throughout his playoff career. Now, this year, he's actually had some nice playoff games, but he's also had a bunch of bad ones. He's too up and down. So I'm done with him if I'm the Lakers, and it looks like they may be done with him tonight. Well, he'll probably get some minutes, but he's certainly not starting. And Rui, I didn't really understand, George, why they went with Jared Vanderbilt over Rui after game one, when you saw that Hachimura could guard Jokic, and that would allow Anthony Davis to roam. Maybe they knew that Denver was going to react to that and make its own adjustment, but I still would have gone that way. That's the way I would be starting. I would have been starting the last two games.
See, I would have too, and I knew that something was up when there was talk before game 3. Oh, D'Angelo Russell may not be happy if he has to come off the bench.
That's right. You shouldn't even have to be dealing with something like that right now.
Correct. I mean, and truthfully, that's why the Heat have had so much success, because they have not been worried about that, not even a little bit. I mean, Duncan Robinson could have pouted a long time ago when he got nailed to the bench. Yep. And instead, you know what he did? Came out, balled out. You know who else could have? Lonnie Walker for the Lakers could have pouted.
Yep.
What'd he do? Come out and ball. And I think that that's indicative of why D'Angelo Russell has yo-yoed. I mean, even Draymond Green. Steve Kerr put Draymond on the bench a couple of times, and you know what Draymond Green came out and said? Whatever it takes to win. Because he's comfortable in himself. I mean, imagine if Manu Ginobili was like, oh, I'm not coming off the bench. It actually worked out better for his career. But who closes the game? I think that that's more important. And instead of letting your ego get wrapped around it and be like, yo, I understand, coach, I wasn't playing great today. Next time, you know what? I got to step up if I want to be in the game. Period.
No, I agree.